This tutorial will cover creating a basic spinning progress bar in Godot. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is create a new node for our scene. So we're going to select Other Node. And once we've selected Other Node, we're going to search for texture. So you can search it in the search box up here. And we're going to select Texture Progress Bar. Go ahead and create a node of Texture Progress Bar. Once we've created this node, we have some settings over here on the right that we need to change. The first is the fill mode type. So currently it's set from left to right. Instead, we're going to want that to be clockwise. And you'll see why that is in just a minute. So go ahead and select clockwise. And then we want to provide a texture for the node. So under the textures panel here, we're going to provide a texture for the progress setting. So I'm going to grab, I have a spinner progress bar here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to grab that, I'm going to drag it and put it inside of the progress texture. So we see that it has been added, but we don't see anything different on the screen. That is because the value of the progress bar is currently set to 0. So since there's 0 progress, we don't see any of the progress bar. So let's go ahead and change that value to a higher number. So let's just go ahead and say 100 so we can see it all the way. So now we see that it's full. For the purpose of tutorial though, we actually want to reduce this number to something smaller. So say something like 30, or we could do, actually maybe we'll do like 20. So that gives a smaller portion of our progress bar. And that's the part that we're now going to spin in a circle. So the way we can do that is by changing the initial angle. So you see if we drag the slider for the initial angle, then our bar actually spins. And so if we go all the way to 360, then we see that it will actually go all the way around. So from 0 to 360 is how we get that behavior. So to actually animate this, we're going to create a tween and use that to animate the initial angle property. So let's go ahead and create a script for our texture progress bar. I'm just going to quickly rename the root node here to spinner. And then we're going to go ahead and create our script. Click the create script button. And we'll keep the defaults and we'll name it spinner. And inside of here now, we're going to be using the ready function. The very first thing we want to do is create a tween. We want to create a new tween, and it's going to be equal to, I'm going to get the tree and then create tween. So that will create a tween from the root tree. And then last thing we're going to do here is we're actually going to set that tween to loop continuously. We're going to do that simply by doing set loops. So now whenever our tween runs, it will continuously run and not stop. Secondly, we need to actually choose the property for the tween to act on. So we're going to use the tween property function of our tween. So we use the tween property function. The first value is the object that we're acting on, so that'll be self. The next value is the property that we'll be acting on, so that's going to be the initial angle property. So I'm just going to drag that in. The next option will be the final value, so what we're actually animating to. So this is going to be our 360 degrees. Then finally our duration, which is, you can choose whatever value you'd like here. I'm just going to use 1.5 seconds. And then finally, we need to set this as relative. The reason for that is because we basically always want to be moving 360 degrees in a circle. We don't want to stop after the first time, so this makes sure we're always trying to move 360 degrees from our current position. And then I'm just going to remove the process function because we're not using it. And finally, we will save. So I'm going to save the scene, and our script is now saved. And lastly, we can run our scene. And there we see that our spinner is indeed animated and spinning in a circle. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for future videos.